Nobody tells you that forgiveness feels less like a warm hug and more like diffusing a bomb you've been carrying in your chest for years. And the strangest part? The moment it finally happened, I wasn't even ready for it. Imagine you're sitting across from the one person who turned your world inside out. Not a stranger, not a villain in a movie, but someone you trusted completely. Someone who knew exactly where to aim. That's where I found myself, and I want you to feel the weight of that chair beneath me. How do you even begin to rebuild trust in people after someone you love, like family, decides to betray it? And more importantly, how do you stop letting that betrayal live rent-free in your head long after they've moved on with their life? This person, let's call them a closest friend, because that's exactly what they were, had shared every corner of my life for nearly a decade. They knew my fears, my secrets, my soft spots, and one day, with what felt like surgical precision, they used every single one of them against me. It started with a lie. The kind that snowballs so fast, you don't even see it coming until it's already crushed you. They went behind my back, spread things I had told them in confidence, and in the process dismantled relationships. I'd spent years building all to make themselves look better in a situation that had nothing to do with me. Think about what it feels like to watch people you love start to look at you differently, based on a version of you that was never real. That slow, quiet shift in someone's eyes is its own kind of grief, and I was drowning in it for months. The irony is, I kept telling myself I was fine. I built this whole interior fortress of, I don't need them, I've moved on, while simultaneously rehearsing arguments in the shower at 2 a.m, like I was preparing for some courtroom drama. Cue the inspirational journal prompts and the healing playlists, because clearly that was working. For nearly 2 years, I carried this thing everywhere. It showed up in how I guarded my words around new people, how I hesitated before trusting anyone with anything real, how I flinched at vulnerability like it was a threat. The betrayal had become part of my operating system. The tipping point came from the most unremarkable place imaginable, a Tuesday. I was exhausted. Not dramatically exhausted, just bone tired, in the way you get when you've been tensing your shoulders for so long, you've forgotten what relaxed feels like. And something in me just asked why I was still doing this. I reached out, not because I had forgiven them yet, but because I was genuinely curious whether carrying this weight was worth more to me than my own peace. That's a question worth sitting with. Are you protecting yourself, or are you just punishing yourself in someone else's name? We talked. And it wasn't cinematic. There was no dramatic music, no tearful Hollywood reconciliation, just two people in an uncomfortable conversation trying to navigate something that had no clean edges. They apologized, not perfectly, not fully, but enough that I could see they understood some part of what they'd done. I told them that what they did broke something in me that took years to quietly repair. And saying that out loud, not as an accusation, but as a statement of fact, did something unexpected. It gave the pain a shape. And shaped things are so much easier to set down than formless ones. Here's what nobody tells you about forgiveness. It's not a feeling that arrives. It's a decision you make and then remake every single day until one morning you realize you haven't had to make it in a while. It's less of a destination and more of a daily commute that gradually gets shorter. After that conversation, something shifted in my daily life in ways I didn't anticipate. I started sleeping better not because the betrayal stopped mattering, but because I stopped replaying it on a loop as if a different ending might finally appear. The mental real estate it had occupied quietly became available for other things. I became, somewhat ironically, better at conflict. When you've sat across from your worst case scenario and survived it without burning everything down, smaller confrontations lose their apocalyptic charge. Things that used to make my heart race became just conversations. The relationship itself, it never went back to what it was. And I think part of wisdom is accepting that some things transform rather than restore. We exist now in a cordial, careful space, which is genuinely more than I thought we'd have, and exactly as much as I need. What's wild is that the forgiveness changed how I remembered the good parts of our friendship too. For 2 years, every warm memory had this dark overlay on it, like someone had applied a filter to an entire album of photos. After I let go, I could look at those memories as just memories again, complicated, human, and still real. Some people in my life thought forgiving meant I was excusing what happened. And I want to address that directly, because that confusion is everywhere. Forgiveness is not absolution. It's not pretending it didn't happen. It's not handing someone a cleared record. It's simply deciding that their actions will no longer be the architect of your present. So here we are. And the question isn't really about them anymore. The question is what you're holding onto right now that has quietly restructured your life around a wound instead of around your actual values. Because that thing you're protecting yourself from, you might already be strong enough to put it down. The moment I forgave someone who hurt me deeply didn't feel like a breakthrough. It felt like exhaling after forgetting I'd been holding my breath. And the real twist is that the person who benefited most from that forgiveness wasn't them at all. It was me.